Hunter Biden was testifying today in front of the committee, and so that in the lead up to it, this is an interview with Comer, I think, speaking to. Oh, my lights have arrived. Oh, very exciting. Hold on. Yeah. Remind me. Just say lights, Hal, at the end. It's not me. It's Glenn. Thank you. Arizona. I appreciate that. Thank you.
And we want to connect the dots here because.
Yeah, let's connect the dots here. So Hunter Biden to testify on Capitol Hill tomorrow. This is from yesterday. By the way, can I also point out the stock market at 39,140? I stand by my belief that we're going to hit 40K by the end of the year, before the election. Yeah.
There's an impact to national security if the first family is accepting millions of dollars from our adversaries. And
yeah, you mean like Trump and his $15 million for killing TPP?
Here we've got President Biden's sanctions on Russia, which were announced on Friday. But once again, it spared the two oligarchs linked to Hunter Biden. The real estate developer, Helena Baturina, the widow of the late Moscow mayor. And
right. Because she's not in. That's her. The oligarchical money came from her husband. He's dead. She fled.
Real estate developer Vladimir Yavetoshenkov. Baturina allegedly dined twice with Hunter Biden and then.
Well, that's enough. Yeah, that'll. Of course, and for that low price, you get to kill as many Ukrainians as you want to.
Vice President Biden at D.C. Cafe Milano. Hunter allegedly met.
Allegedly. I know she's reading this, but you mean she was at the World Food Program thing?
With Yavetoshenkov at least 2 times. So here's Biden doing sanctions on Russia because Russia is attacking Ukraine, and Baturina gets nothing. Why? Is it because she wired him $3.5 million several?
She didn't. She sent that to an offshoot of Rosemont Seneca that Devon Archer runs that Hunter Biden has no part of.
Years earlier.
Well, it sure looks like that.
It sure looks like that. Oh, shit. 3.5 fucking years later, and it looks like it? It fucking looks like it, buddy? Huh? You prick ya. It looks like it. 3.5 fucking years later, and you're using the phrase, looks like it. Does it look like it? Does it? Does it look like it? It looks like it. Does it look like it, you dumb motherfucker? It looks like it. Looks like
it. And that looks like a policy decision.
So it looks like it, and that looks like a policy decision. It looks like a policy decision that looks like it. Does it? Oh, it looks like it? It looks like it.
Decision that Joe Biden made in return for millions of dollars that his family received.
No, his family didn't receive any of that money. And he's not going to throw his presidency away for Devon Archer. Go review. Now, I know you weren't there for Devon Archer's testimony. He was not. He stayed away. He read about it later. Blurbs, as it were. He was not present. Chairman of the committee, whatever. But he was not there. And in that, Devon Archer said, no, that money wasn't for him. That was for the real estate arm. That was run by me. He didn't have any part of that. She sent that money to me to be invested. I didn't get to keep it. We invested it for her.
From an adversary. Look,
she's not an adversary.
Democrats, the media.
He was corrupt, and she ended up divorcing him. That was
and the Biden legal team are trying to revive this Russia 2.0. But here is firm evidence that the Bidens
didn't take any money from her at all.
Millions of dollars from a shady character in Russia. And as
a shady character?
As a result, they failed to put sanctions on this particular.
Do you get the feeling he's thinking this up as he's talking to her? Like just repeating what she said back to her, going, looks like this is what happened. From what I hear from you, Maria.
Particular Russian oligarch. So this is very concerning. The Galanis testimony was really good.
Was it?
Hopefully people will be able to read that transcript.
Yeah, hopefully.
Very soon. And
oh, yeah, hopefully. I love hopefully. You would fucking love hopefully. Hopefully. Say hopefully again, motherfucker. Hopefully? What's the problem? They don't know how to spell Galanis? Hopefully. Hopefully? Yeah, hopefully. All right. I hope. How about that?
Just what Galanis said. And remember, Galanis, Devon Archer, and Hunter Biden were all three-way partners in a deal that, according to court records, may have
According to court records, may have, probably looks like this motherfucker.
defrauded a Native American pension fund.
May have defrauded a Native American pension fund. So let me guess. The Native Americans are now our enemies again. Is that what it is? Or did he defraud it on behalf of Russia? Did they take money from a tribe and give it to them? Oh, never mind the fact that this deal didn't involve Hunter Biden, and this guy went to jail for it. And that's exactly why Hunter Biden's like, I don't hang out with this fucking dude anymore.
Archer is fixing to go to jail over that.
Fixing?
Galanis
is he?
Is in jail over that. Hunter Biden never went to jail.
Isn't that weird? It's almost like he wasn't a part of that fucking deal at all. That's funny. Yeah. He never went to jail over it. That's funny. So they've got all the same records they have for the other two guys. They got all that shit, but somehow, and you've been able to look at those records, they got contacts, Galanis talking to Archer talking to Galanis, back and forth. And that part of it, no money changes hands, no documents at all. Go back to, you know what? Hopefully you'll be able to find something. Maybe, possibly one day, maybe one day. Oh.
And now they indicted Smirnov. Alexander Smirnov was another whistleblower.
Oh, what? Hang the fuck out. A whistleblower? A whistleblower? What the fuck are you talking about?
Judge denied bail for Smirnov, the former FBI informant, accused now of lying about the Biden business deals.
Yeah, they have him on tape lying. Yeah, he said he was in places he couldn't have been because so far, humans can't be in two places at once. That seems to be the crux of their case.
Ukraine.
Also, time travels in one direction. That also is crucial to the state's case.
The Department of Justice claims he is a flight risk.
Yeah, he's also a Novichok risk. He's also a hard landing risk if he gets near a third-story window, you dumbass.
Smirnov's lawyers are pushing back, saying that he has shown no signs of wanting to flee. But NBC News is reporting that former U.S. spies warned in 2020 that the Hunter Biden scandal had Russian fingerprints on it, and now they feel vindicated now.
Yeah, exactly. The guys who wrote this laptop shit has Russian misinformation all over it. Of course they feel vindicated. The motherfucker lied. Materially lied. This isn't like he felt like, and maybe there was a situation where it seemed like to him there was some seamy going on. It wasn't any of that shit. He said he met these people in 2015, 2016. He didn't meet them until 2017. He sent a fucking photograph of the business card when he met the dude, and it was 2 years after he said he did. It was 2 years after he said he heard the guy say something in person. He couldn't have been there. He wasn't even in the fucking country. This is not hard. This is one of the most slam dunk fucking cases they have ever had.
So what about this? I mean,
what about this? What about this?
I don't know how.
I don't know.
This all goes down, but Smirnov initially in that FBI document said that a Burisma executive told him you got to give $5 million to one Biden and $5 million to the other Biden so that we can.
Yeah, and he said he told him that in 2015, and he didn't even meet the motherfucker until 2017. That didn't stand out that because he was telling, and by the way, it wasn't that he remembered it wrong, like he was telling somebody in 2018 that the guy told him this in 2015 when he really told him it in 2017. He was telling him in 2016 that the guy told him it then, but he'd never met him until 2017, and he was so fucking stupid, he didn't, when he was trying to impress his handler, and he sent a fucking picture of the guy's business card when he met him the first time, and his handler went, wait a fucking second. You said you were already hanging out with this guy. What do you mean you just met him? And he didn't even fix it. He didn't push back. He was like, wait a fucking second. And that's when they started going, all right, this might be a problem.
Be protected.
Right.
That they accepted bribe money, and now he's being indicted.
Yeah, well, what troubling to me is
that he lied.
Smirnov appears to be, and we never knew the identity.
Yeah, I don't know who he is. I never met the guy or whatever, but he seems totally legit, except for the part where he's been arrested for lying to the FBI as a confidential informant for fucking years while he cashed in on it. During, who was president at the time? I don't remember. Does anybody remember?
Of the FBI informant. All we knew, Jim Jordan and I,
was he knew what my ass was and I knew what his elbow was, but neither of us knew, on our own body. I could point at it, but it was weird. It just never linked up.
Was that Christopher Wray said that this informant was one of their most trusted, highest paid in the Bureau. They had successfully used this informant to prosecute criminals in the past, and he had been with the Bureau over a decade. So that's what Christopher...
Mm-hmm. So, so one of the issues might be that the Russians planned on feeding bullshit in for a long time, and one of the ways that they win your trust is they give you some good shit in the beginning, and then they start feeding you bullshit when it's necessary. Gee, it's almost like they're not reinventing the wheel.
Ray told Jim Jordan and I about the informant. That's all we knew about the informant. But you look.
Also, I've watched the footage of Ray being, questioned about him, about the informant or whatever, and he doesn't say anything about the guy at all, about it being a trusted source. These are quotes from Republicans. He just says, I can't speak to that or whatever, and just kind of dodges it. That's why he's like, he didn't even admit who this guy existed in the first place. Yeah, because he was trying to help you out.
They've indicted him, and more is coming out about the informant, what role he played for the FBI. The FBI paid him to be a spy in Russia. They indicted him because he was communicating with Russia, but that's what they paid him for over 10 years.
Oh, fuck me. So here's what happens if you're an undercover cop and you're being paid as a cop, and during that time you pose as a drug dealer and you purchase drugs in the process of this, and then you take those drugs and you take them back to headquarters and you drop them off and you go, this is part of the purchase, here's what I got, this is how much money went out, and we go through the thing, fill out a bunch of reports, all this kind of shit, no problem. If you turn in a bunch of baby laxative and then sell the actual coke, they're going to arrest you for being a cop and dealing drugs, which is what they had them doing in the first place. That's what they wanted him to do.
Years to do. So I don't know anything about Smirnov, but
he's just your biggest and most important witness, and you trust him entirely. And apparently, Chris Wray told you he was the greatest and most trusted source they've ever had, ever. He never said it in public, but ever. He never said it in an interview that I've been able to find. It is their most trusted, best source they've ever fucking had. I mean, he never said it anywhere anybody's ever seen, except to you and Jim alone, I guess, in the coat room. What, during the weekly circle jerk? When did this happen?
The circumstances around his indictment and his rearrest and the changing of the original indictment by Weiss is very concerning, because everything that I've had to do with the FBI has been very suspicious.
Jesus Christ. No, you are suspicious because you're a dumbass. Because everything you think, I got this all figured out, and then you kick the tires on it and they all pop and you're like, wait a minute, this might not be a real car.
Throughout this investigation, the trust level that I have with the FBI is zero.
Fuck you. Who cares? Why? Because they were supposed to do your bidding instead of follow the law? Also, you don't trust the FBI because of something Chris Wray said to only you. Thank you, Eileen. Have fun at the cellar. Tell them that they should have me when I come to town. I don't know anybody there. I've never done the cellar. But I'd like to at some point. Unless you have to be all fucking skeevy, which is possible. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are there. It might be, one of the Illuminati comedy clubs. It's hard to tell.
Maria. And look, we're following the money. Smirnov never.
Uh-huh. What money? You mean the $5 million that didn't go to Biden and the $5 million that didn't go to Hunter? What money?
Never was a key part of this investigation.
Get the fuck out of here. Jordan said it was your most crucial piece. Maria, I would expect you to push back on that. I'm kidding.
Investigation never was a part of the investigation, not because we couldn't.
It was just one more confirmation for you.
Well,
Yeah, one more confirmation. That turned out to be a total lie, and it was where we got a lot of what we thought were leads and how we looked at things. That's what made us suspicious when we looked at the money that was being made. We looked at it through the lens of this $5 million bribe that we knew was out there. So we're looking at these millions going, there's a $5 million bribe. How did they take this $5 million bribe and work it into legit businesses and stuff? They probably couldn't. So that's what we're looking at here. This $2 million here and this $3 million here and this, that's probably where that $5 million came from over the course of a decade before the guy even fucking showed up. Yeah, got any leads? Leads. Yeah, they got us working in shifts.
yeah, absolutely. You investigate every tip. Charles Grassley brought this tip.
Oh, okay, so it's Grassley's fault now. Fucking throw the hot potato.
Smirnov said,
I am Marina's John. I mentioned this because you guys were there. You asked me too. Don't lay this off on me because I'm a year older than Biden.
that Burisma paid Hunter Biden $5 million. That's true.
No, they didn't. They didn't pay him $5 million. They paid him like it was like less than $1 million a year for 2 of the years, and then $1.2 million one of the years, and then it went away. You stack the money over a half a decade.
We found that. He said in there
We found that. You mean in his tax filings?
that the money was wired through various bank accounts. That's true. So we
Yes, the money was not handed over in duffel bags. Fuck.
know that.
The money that he was paid as a salary and then part of the profits from how valuable the investments were, that went, they didn't give him an EBT card. We know that's true. They wired the money. He wired the money into Hunter Biden's account. We know that's a fact. So when he got paid, he got some sort of direct deposit. And I don't trust anyone who gets direct deposit. Unless you get a check in your mailbox and walk it to the bank, it's a criminal endeavor. Just ask Donald Trump, who got $15 million out of an account with $17 million in China money 3 months after he became president.
Part that
For killing TPP.
has never been confirmed is about
All of it? Which part has never been confirmed? The criminal part? The part that makes it a crime? The part that makes it unethical or any what? Yeah, you're right. That part has not been confirmed.
Joe Biden or not. And look, we're still looking and finding.
Yeah, keep looking. Keep looking. Yeah, look for it, man. You'll find it. I mean, that's the whole goal, right? Just keep looking until you find a crime. This is the whitewater methodology. Yeah. As opposed to in the case of, say, Donald Trump, you had Mike Flynn talking to the Turks, who were acting as a proxy for the Russians as well, while Jared Kushner set up a back channel to the Russians and the Saudis at the same time as soon as they moved in. And there was all of a sudden a bunch of Russian phones pinging around the White House in and out of the fucking building during the transition, and staffers and all that kind of other shit. And that guy who was just showing off to the NSA this technology he had devised that can tell where a phone is from or where it originated from, following this tracking stuff. And he didn't even work for the White House. He was just showing off, and he's like, oh, fuck, look at all these Russian phones. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. We'll take it.
New accounts from Joe Biden every day. At the end of the day,
At the end of the day, it's nighttime.
know the Bidens have taken, over $20 million from our adversaries around the world, and they have failed to say.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. You're including money in that from AmeriCorps? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Adversaries? By the way, let me just bring him in and go, is every Russian who's not for Putin, for example, are they our adversaries? Are our assets in Afghanistan and other countries, are they our adversaries? You're a loser.
Say one single thing they did to receive that money.
I think
I get tired of listing it all. It's just annoying. First of all, explain to me your brother's finances with yours over the land your father left you and how you divvied it up. Secondly, and that fucking shell game. Secondarily, if you want to bitch about investments and investment brokers, go Just go stand at the base of 40 Wall Street, Trump's building, and yell at the criminals in that fucking building.
People are so frustrated by the politics of all of this.
Yeah, that's what they're frustrated by, not the fact that you keep coming up empty and this is a waste of everybody's fucking time.
It's amazing to me that your colleagues had just played politics all the time with this.
What the fuck are you talking about? Politics? Do you have any idea how much they're letting him get away with? This asshole is making them all look like dickheads, and they're like, oh, you know, he's trying, he's working on politics. The shit are you talking about? When? Who?
And, you know, attack.
No, I don't know.
You, rather than actually seeing this is a serious national security risk. If, in fact, this family.
If, in fact. Here, how about this, Maria? If I may, if in fact, how about this? If in fact, James Comer is fucking compromised, if in fact he has manufactured all of this shit on behalf of Russia, this is a serious national security risk in our Congress, that we have Russian puppets attacking the administration at every turn, threatening to shut down the government, stopping border bills, all that kind of shit. They're all doing that. If, in fact, that's true, wouldn't that be concerning? Wouldn't you think? If, in fact, Maria.
He has taken these millions from China. No wonder China has amped up its aggression against the United States.
Why? Why would they amp up their aggression if they have a puppet in the White House? You fucking tool. That makes no sense. All right, run that by me again, you shitheel. Good Lord.
What? From China. No wonder China has amped up its aggression against the United States. They're not afraid of Joe Biden. And by the way, why is...
Maria, have you looked at their economy lately? Have you looked at how little technology they're getting access to in the United States? And you're right, Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fubar, sorry. That is the message. You're right. That's the whole idea, is that they're freaking the fuck out.
Smirnov getting indicted for all of these reasons, and Christopher Steele is still walking around.
Yeah.
That's because he didn't lie to FBI handlers. He was the go-between, and he brought information and said, you vet this. This is what I heard, and this is what I found out. He presented it as such. Anything he had firsthand knowledge of, he said. This guy lied about stuff that he allegedly had firsthand knowledge of. Okay? That's why. You're just not even going to bother to recognize the difference?
Is it not true that the Steele dossier was complete garbage and that...
Doesn't matter. It was a dossier compiled for opposition research. It didn't matter. Now, he believed a bunch of it was true because he was hearing it, and he presented it as such. This is what I'm hearing. However, this is what I'm hearing from sources is different from I was in the room and I saw it and heard it happen. I heard the actual person in the process or brag about the fact that they had somebody on, by the short and curlies. That's the difference. It's the difference. It's a huge difference materially.
Lie of Russia collusion with Donald Trump
wasn't a lie.
Divided our country, ripped this country apart, and no one has been held accountable. That has to be frustrating for you.
It's very frustrating. It's another reason why I've...
Yeah, but Maria, tying his shoes is frustrating. This is a man for which a lot of things are very, very, very difficult.
Zero confidence in our intelligence community. I lost confidence in the intelligence community when those 51 intelligence officials signed...
Who turned out to be right.
...that letter saying the laptop was Russian disinformation. When we later found out the FBI had the laptop, they had the laptop for several years prior to that.
No, they didn't.
They knew full well that the laptop was authentic.
No, they didn't. No. They did not. Just because you physically have something doesn't mean that the stuff that's supposedly on it is authentic. That's different. Somebody saying we physically took a laptop from this fucking store because we dropped it off. That's not the same thing as saying it's authentic. They have never been able to authenticate it. Period. End of fucking story. That's why him and MTG and all these motherfuckers say, this is not about stuff we got from Rudy Giuliani. This is not about stuff we got from the laptop. The reason they say that is because they know fruit of the poison tree because it can't be verified. So this bullshit, and by the way, like I've broken this down so many times.
So the intelligence community has constantly been a major player in the cover-up of the Biden crimes.
Bullshit. There are no Biden crimes, motherfucker. There are no Biden crimes. Notice how he breezed past the Biden crimes. Like he just... Look
at this. What we found in this investigation over the past 7 or 8 years, the Biden family's been...
The 7 or 8 years. Which, I think he's saying in the 7 zone because he's talking about shit that happened after Biden left office.
Investigated by the FBI, the DOJ, the IRS, the Securities and Exchange Commission. The list goes on and on of government agencies that have investigated this family.
And never been able to bring charges on anything except Hunter Biden not paying some taxes.
For fraud, for financial crimes, the 170 suspicious activity reports filed.
Yeah, that's anything over $10,000 into a bank account. Anytime you start a new fucking bank account or a business starts to take off, and after that, they have to automatically file it. It's left over from 9/11. It's just...
By 6 different U.S. banks alleging the Bidens committed some type of financial crime.
No, they don't. They have to flag them because it's large amounts of money and it's intermittent. It's not a regular thing.
I mean, there is so much smoke here. And you mentioned earlier, the media continues to attack me. All I'm trying to do is get the...
Well, I think a lot of them are just mad because you're an idiot and you're making them look stupid.
Truth.
By media, he means, everybody at Fox behind the scenes except Maria.
To the American people.
So
I think the American people deserve the truth, and they have...
Sure. Fire it up, man. The truth is, you have not found a single crime. You certainly haven't found money laundering.
Haven't been given the truth by the mainstream media or by our government agencies.
So it's like the dirty little secret about the Biden family that everybody knows, but the Democrats...
Yeah, everybody knows it. Yeah, you're right, Maria. Everybody knows it. Everybody fucking knows it. But, nobody will talk about it except Comer, who has no proof of it.
Democrats just blow it off?
Right, that's right.
I want to get your take on the structure...
For fuck's sake.
Of these deals, because Tony Bobolinsky was very clear in terms of what he remembered. Now,
yeah, when he first met Joe Biden in 2017. Well, who was president in 2017?
He told me that he met with Joe Biden on May 2nd and May 3rd in 2017. James Biden the other day, on the record testimony, told you he wasn't involved. Joe Biden wasn't involved at all. Did James Biden commit perjury?
Well, if you look at the text messages that Bobolinsky produced between he and Jim Biden, they talk about the meeting, and it's a confirmation that the meeting happened.
Does it confirm that Joe was part of the business?
But then Jim Biden, under oath, testified that Bobolinsky never met with Joe Biden. But again, there's overwhelming evidence to confirm that Jim Biden was communicating back and forth with Bobolinsky about the meeting that he had with Joe Biden. So there are 7 or 8 things that Jim Biden said.
Yeah, that are verifiable.
During his transcribed interview that we are, as we speak, going through trying.
Great. Excellent. Please do.
To verify whether or not his statements were in fact accurate.
I see. So if they are, that means Bobolinsky's aren't. So that would mean that there are 7 or 8 things in his testimony that you're clearly looking into. All right.
Could have perjured himself.
We'll find out.
We'll see. Okay.
We'll see. We'll find out. We'll see. Yeah, he could have. But if he didn't, that means Bobolinsky did. How's that work?
Let me get your take on the structure.
Let me get the take on it.
Because this Politico article that says...
Oh, Politico, another mainstream media source that clearly can't be trusted. Fake news.
Biden's brother used his name to promote a hospital chain, then it collapsed. Jim Biden played a major role in the company called AmeriCorps, which the government has accused of massive Medicare fraud. And then it says Jim Biden spoke of plans to give his brother equity in AmeriCorps, according to one former AmeriCorps executive, and
spoke of plans to do it if he could get him involved. Couldn't do it?
Him on the board, according to a second. Isn't that the same terms that they had in a separate deal with CEFC, the Chinese energy company?
Yeah, except AmeriCorps is an American company, and no, it isn't. Because there are, I don't know if the argument in this court case that James Biden promised something he couldn't deliver, the same thing would be true of the CEFC thing, that Bobolinsky and Gillian, both of them were arguing for shit they couldn't make happen.
Yes. Now we have two people on record. We have Bobolinsky talking about the business model for selling the Biden brand, and now Galanis talking about the business model for selling the Biden brand.
All right, fuck you, brand. The last name Biden doesn't mean anything if you're saying it's influence peddling if he's not in office anymore. And again, the only way that this influence peddling works starting in 2017 is that they knew Trump was going to be a one-termer and Biden was going to be the dude. In which case, we have bigger fish to fry because apparently the Illuminati does run everything. What the fuck are you talking about?
So what you have here, and you have the Politico source talking about the business model for selling the Biden brand. All three of those sources
said Joe Biden could promote company in a future presidential campaign. Uh-huh. Yeah, did he do that? No. What future presidential campaign? Fuck are you talking about?
confirm that one way the Bidens were able to abstract all this money from these shady, desperate characters.
Are they shady or are they desperate? Because desperate and shady are not necessarily the same thing. So AmeriCorps is desperate and CFC is shady. Should we go that way?
Was they said Joe Biden, not only do we have access to him, but he wants to be a part of this. He wants an equity stake in this, and he may even sit on the board. That's what they told CEFC with the 10% for the big guy. That's what the Politico article confirmed about.
Both of these would be during the one window of time where he was allegedly no longer in office and was not running for office. These things allegedly happened in 2017, 2018. What the fuck? Who cares? Jesus Christ. Do you have any idea how many boards former presidents end up on? What are you talking about?
About the AmeriCorps Health. That was the business model.
And it's an American company.
What we've been able to do in this investigation is not only prove that the Bidens were influence peddling,
What influence? What influence? How do you have influence when you're that old and no longer president and nobody thinks, vice president, and nobody thinks you're going to run?
Been able to see exactly what their business model was. Not only were they saying, yeah, here's Joe Biden on the phone, here, let's have dinner with Joe Biden, but they're also saying Joe Biden wants an equity ownership, and he may even sit on the board if you pay us enough money.
Wow. And then
again, who gives a fuck? This is 2017. Like, I don't even buy this, but who gives a shit? I'm dead serious. Like, if these are, above board companies, especially AmeriCorps at the time, and this is still 2017, how the fuck what does this have to do with fucking anything?
And let's not forget,
let's not forget that neither of these companies' deals ever came to fruition, and none of the influence ever actually happened.
Last year of the Obama administration, Joe Biden's portfolio included healthcare, and his whole thing about
right, and then after he left office, how much control did he have over the Trump administration's healthcare plan?
we want to cure cancer.
Right.
So there's another point here that says,
Jesus Christ, yes, the cancer moonshot. They wanted a piece of cancer moonshot guy. I can't imagine why. That would be influence. But that'd be the kind of influence you'd want people to peddle, I think.
Says that Jim Biden told AmeriCorps that they could find a winning business model for rural health care, and his brother could promote it in a future presidential campaign. That is just unbelievable.
You're right. It is unbelievable. Diddy. Also, when was this supposed to be? After after Trump's 8 years in theory at the time.
What's really stunning to me
Whose presidential campaign? Jesus Christ.
is that the deals that they were doing with China were largely about energy. So Public and Michael Schellenberger, the reporter, writes this: Chinese control over U.S. oil and gas is at the heart of the Biden family influence peddling. A new whistleblower reveals. That's Galanis. Is that what? So
Galanis, the guy who was shaking down Native American tribes and who's going to go to jail with Devon Archer.
All of this time with President Biden telling us fossil fuels are bad, go get an electric vehicle.
But again, natural gas versus oil, the shift to that as a mitigatory mid step between renewables and that, you really are dumb, aren't you?
Cutting off LNG contracts, etc. And
No, he didn't cut off LNG contracts. He cut off LNG contracts with non-free trade countries, which were countries who were trying to evade sanctions anyways. So
he's selling those oil and gas business projects to China?
I've never seen such hypocrisy on anything in politics.
No, it's a natural gas facility. Natural gas being the shift away from oil to natural gas. The idea is that there's less waste, less environmental impact from natural gas than oil. And in the transition from oil to renewables, natural gas is a very important stepping stone. But you would know that if you both weren't morons.
Politics. What the Bidens are trying to say to please their left-wing liberal base, and what they were trying to do in the private sector to profit from the Chinese Communist Party is daylight and dark. The Bidens were helping China do all the things that Biden's blocking American energy from doing in the United States.
No, they were not. It was not to buy coal from the United States or buy coal, like withered coal mines in West Virginia so they could take over. It was not about oil. It was all natural gas.
One of the things that I think,
again, we're just going to pretend there's not a difference there. We're just going to roll past that, right? Everybody, all the maggots watching and the trolls they're just going to let this slide. Okay, all right. That's no, you do you, boo.
Americans need to understand about the whole deal with China was China.
The whole deal.
China was going to pay the Bidens. They paid Hunter Biden millions of dollars. They were expecting Joe Biden to be a 10% owner. Was to implement the Belt and Road Initiative in the United States, take over American energy, take over American manufacturing, buy American farmland.
What? That's so weird. And then they bought a bunch of American farmland during Trump. And then Trump sold the head of CEFC, an apartment in apparently at this point, I think 2 apartments in his buildings, one at Trump World Plaza and one at Trump Tower. And just kept working with those guys, and then seemed to slow roll his COVID response so that he could complete his China deal, so that he and his kids could have future business in China. Meanwhile, Biden gets in and immediately slams the door shut and stops the tech drain that's going into China and stopping AI and high-level military technology from going to them. It's weird. It's very weird. It's almost as if Trump was playing both sides of this one, too.
That's what we are trying to get China not to do in the United States. Joe Biden was getting, and his family was getting paid to help China do.
That's unbelievable. And I know you've sent a...
You're right. It is not believable. You're right. It is unbelievable.
Letter to the Federal Reserve raising concerns about illegal environmental, social, and governance practices. I mean, this has been a whole climate change agenda throughout agencies. You want...
Yeah, you guys have been trying to stop ESG, the thing that you say Biden only pretends to do. So your only problem with him in this theory is that he's a hypocrite. You really do want to destroy the environment. So therefore, you're more trustworthy. I don't know what the fuck.
I want to know how it's impacting asset manager actions, Chairman. Tell me about that, because it's all connected, isn't it?
It's so connected. It's all connected. Yeah. I mean, there's no connective tissue. It's connected like a bunch of dashes are connected. You know what I mean? There's a hole between every single one. But basically, if you squint, it looks like a line.
SEC is driving the Biden climate agenda, putting new rules in place for business.
They are. And,
Gee, it's almost like we put environmental rules on businesses for decades now.
It's disappointing that more CEOs aren't stepping out.
Yeah, well, they're, obviously they're looking for that China money.
Trying to be against this.
Yeah, it is. It's disappointing. It's almost like they're in on it. I mean, it's probably them and the NSA and big tech, big pharma.
But what we're trying to do from an oversight standpoint is find out exactly what type of correspondence, who is pushing this liberal agenda. Is this a sort?
I'm gonna guess it's Joe Biden. I'm fairly certain. I've looked at his agenda, and it is by every measure a liberal agenda. I will say that the Democratic president in the White House right now, who is a liberal, has an agenda that could be called liberal. I'm just saying.
Back thing, is this left-wing environmental groups that are dictating policy for the Biden administration to appease their left-wing base?
Yeah, I guess, and hurt China.
The only people that are benefiting from many of these outlandish far-left policies, whether they be DEI, whether they be climate change, whatever, is China.
Yeah, that's right. If we have policies that make people of different belief systems and different races work well together in a variety of industries and the military and government agencies and stuff like that, or we have environmental and social and governance practices to make companies more sustainable and equitable, and obviously the only person that helps is China, and certainly it hurts Americans. America, fuck Americans, just America.
And it's more evident that Joe Biden has a China first, America last policy.
How? What? If it's China first to actually do these things, and then he cuts the LNG, both the technology and the actual exports to countries like China, so that all of our stuff can only go to Europe because they trade freely and treat their citizens as human beings. What the fuck are you talking about?
We're just trying to get the
fuck up America?
Truth to the American people. Who is feeding this information to the Biden administration? Because it's not Joe Biden.
Well, I heard a story that Elizabeth Warren made.
Yeah. She's not Native American, but we think she might be Chinese.
A promise that she would step down when she was running for president if she had the authority to choose committee heads and help Joe Biden with the climate agenda. I don't know if Elizabeth Warren.
What? She said what? Hold on.
Made a promise that she would step down when she was running for president if she had the authority to choose committee heads and help Joe Biden with the climate agenda. I don't know if Elizabeth Warren has any role.
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Really? That's what you think's happening? It's behind the scenes. It's not Barack Hussein Obama. It's Elizabeth Warren behind the scenes. What the fuck are you talking about? How? Where? What? Who? When? Why? Why? Ha? Who? He? I don't. That's amazing. I gotta say, that's a way to bring it, Maria. It was like you're playing volleyball with a balloon full of dog turds, and you just were tapping it up again and again and again, and then you had one chance to spike it, and you decided to just bite it. Illinois stepping in. Thanks. Illinois jumping in. Illinois judge says the 14th Amendment bars Trump from the 2024 primary ballot. U.S. Supreme Court is currently considering the broader dispute. Look, you got a bunch of states in there. Oh, Chicago. You're my kind of town. Just saying. There you go. There you go. There's Illinois. All right. Okay, we'll finish this one up. Fantabulous.
Either, but it appears that there are a lot of far left-wing environmental groups that are dictating policy for the administration.
Yeah, but are they tied to China? What?
We're trying to learn more about these.
Are you trying to learn more about China? That's what I do every day. I'm trying to learn China. China.
Left-wing groups. Who's actually funding these left-wing groups?
Yeah.
They could be China. We don't know.
Yeah, they could be China. China.
But we know this, their agenda is counter to what's best for the American consumer.
Very, very dangerous.
The American consumer. In what way? Oh, you mean the whole thing about us not wanting to use slavery to make goods sold in the United States? Which would be hard on China. But, you know, even worse on the American consumer who wants to pay $1 less for a T-shirt at H&M.
And just real quick, we got to jump, Mr. Chairman, but is there anything...
Yeah, this is great, and you really nailed it down. Thanks for having this sit down instead of just coming on the phone and saying the same worthless fucking blather.
About your investigation that we don't know, that we don't...
Yeah, is there something you can tell us that actually exists? Is that too much of a... I'm just, you know, can you salvage this 14-minute waste of fucking time in the last 20 seconds to say something that we can actually point to that's an actual, I don't know, crime?
I don't understand the audience. Is there something...
Oh, well, something the audience will understand. Just say China money and run.
you want to leave us with that's most important here?
Yeah, the most important thing. Now, be careful, because whatever you say right now, the person that you allude to, as far as whoever gave you the information, is going to be arrested soon for lying to the FBI or you or both.
I think we've established a pattern that Joe Biden did communicate with every single person that wired his family millions and millions of dollars.
No, you haven't.
We've
no, he didn't.
uncovered a pattern that they were selling the brand. There's no Biden businesses. When the media says Hunter Biden and Jim Biden owned an energy company, they didn't own an energy company. They owned an influence peddling scheme. That's
well, what? How did that influence parlay into after he's out of office? What influence is there? If the brand is the name, then that's what they were selling. That Biden's trustworthy. If you want to trust, if people will trust this company because they can trust my dad or my brother, and that's the argument. If you're making that argument, that's what the brand is. But you can't say that because the brand would have to be trust. If you give us your money, you're going to make money, and it'll last, and this will be a good endeavor that goes on for a long time because my dad doesn't get in business with assholes. And sorry, we just read your perspective. We can't get in business with you because you're assholes.
all this is.
So there's no product.
There's no product. There's
Jesus Christ. Tell me what Bain Capital makes. What does Bain Capital make? What's the Bain Capital product? What's the product on the of the guys of the regulars on Shark Tank?
no services. And what
No, there's a service. He's a lawyer. They constructed companies. They put together investment opportunities. If there's no service, if they don't have a product, neither does Bobulinski, neither does Devon Archer. No one does. They're all in the same business. So if they don't have a business, Devon Archer doesn't have a business. I don't want to hear shit about Bobulinski's a trustworthy dude because he's in business and he made a lot of money. What's his fucking product? He doesn't have a product. There's no Bobulinski phone. There's no Bobulinski fucking fleshlight. There's no Bobulinski fucking mortar, brick and mortar stores. Fuck off.
what we see now is, in some cases, they even said Joe Biden was going to be an equity owner. Joe Biden was going to be a part of it. And Joe Biden communicated with these people and led AmeriCorps Health to believe that he was going to be a part of it.
No, he didn't. No, he did not. There's nothing in that lawsuit that says Joe Biden contacted AmeriCorps or was part of their business model at all. If James brought it up or said maybe at some point after he's out of office, we're doing this, he's doing Cancer Moonshot, maybe he'd like to come on, he would have to have an equity stake, but you could use the name that he was on your board. If he's making that offer on behalf of possibly one day in the future, that's him influence peddling, but that influence only comes with the fact that Biden's a stand-up guy who actually cares about health. You have a health company. Having his name associated with you would be valuable because the average American would think very highly of that because of Obamacare.
They led the Chinese government to believe that he was going to be a part of CEFC. So
No, they didn't.
Biden's role in this Biden influence peddling scheme.
Also, if they did, is the fact that he didn't, that he was not and would not be a part of it, is that why it fell apart? Because that, that could answer to why the deal never happened. That would explain why the deal never happened.
Is much greater than what the mainstream media wants to admit and what a lot of Americans understand.
So,
gee, I don't know. You've explained it so well. I think anyone who's not currently bleeding into their brain pan right now listening to you clearly understands it.
stunning. Mr. Chairman, thank you. We certainly will be following your work.
Thank you.
Well, you're certainly not going to be following his results, Maria. Well, you've been working hard on this. Not smart, not well, and not successfully. Fucking hell. All right. That brings the show to a close tonight. Today, Hunter Biden actually testified. I'm going to go check out videos tonight, I'm sure, of, things that were said. We'll address some of them tomorrow afternoon. Show's a little bit later, at 4 o'clock tomorrow in the afternoon. And then, of course, regular shows on Friday. I'm flying out right after, lickety-split. Got to get to the airport and fly off to, I might actually do the show earlier just to give myself a little cushion, if that's all right, on Friday. And then I'm flying to Dallas. I'll do the radio show from there. And then I've got Nerd Halen Saturday night at the Glass Cactus. Very exciting. Can I raid? Yes, and I'm going to raid Liberal Dan on Twitch right after the show. So I'm going to take everybody can jump over there and say hi to Liberal Dan for us. Give me 1 second. I think CSL might already be online on the Twitch machine, but I'll do it when I check out. I think we'll be all right. Let's see. Why is it? Good Lord. All I want is following. It allows you to raid all kinds of shit now. But there's also, Midas. They never raid me though. I always feel. Anyways, love you guys. See you tomorrow. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. I look forward to reading bits of the transcript on Friday. That might be the morning show. There's going to be a lot of stuff. Also, Monday, get ready. Sexy Liberal announcing some dates. Very exciting. Very exciting, my friends, my peeps, my lovelies. We're going to be out on the road. I'm already exhausted just talking about it. It's a good time. Meanwhile, I'm going to go sport my fancy new NASA jacket, which I love. It's very nice. And it's very comfortable. And I like it very much. And I feel like it makes me look like a crew member on a 1970s TV show about space. And also, watch out for the kidney. Don't say I didn't warn you.